Hello, welcome to Local Chats. I'm Lewis Adams, and I am here with Caleb Maxwell from Hebron Films. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, good Lewis.
All right, we're here to talk about a specific project that you're working on called Over The Handlebars, which is about cycling. But before we get to that, can you tell me about yourself and your history and your life?
Oh, whoa. How much time have you got? Well, I'll start, I suppose, with relevant history. I'm a Bendigo boy. I've grown up here my whole life, pretty much, but Bendigo lover, you could say. I went down to Melbourne for 3 years to study film at uni straight after high school, and did a Bachelor of Screen Production down there. Came back, didn't really do much with it. I'd been on the, and still am to an extent, on the acting trail of being a professional auditioner, really. So I'd been chasing that dream a little bit, and sort of realised that professional auditioning doesn't really bring in the dollars. So I decided to do something with the degree that I had got. Me and a good mate of mine, Levi Ingram, we started Hebron Films, and that was about 2 years ago now. So we've been plugging away at that full time for about almost 2 years now, actually. Yeah, we've been making advertising, TVCs, cinema ads, social media videos, lots of fun stuff.
You've built up a bit of a range in that time, have you?
Yeah. We working for yourself, you get the luxury of choice. So, we choose what jobs we chase and which ones we do. And we've done a whole heap of different videos from a promo for a Christian training centre in Fiji to a short film about Southern Cross kids camps, which is a national charity, to local TV ads, Bendigo regional tourism stuff. We've done a lot.
Oh, cool. Tell me about Over The Handlebars, which is the reason why you're here today.
Yeah, Over The Handlebars. I suppose it started with another good friend of mine coming to me with this idea he had. He came up to me one day and said he's got an idea for a TV show. I was like, oh yeah, I've never made a TV show before, but I make videos, and one of our goals with our company is to be a feature film company. That's our vision, and that's where we're going. Yep. So I thought, creative entertainment is where we want to be as a business. So give it to me. What's your idea? He's a pretty avid cyclist, roadie, and his idea was to make a show that is targeted at the recreational cyclist market. It's a huge growing hobby, I suppose, interest, and there's a big group of recreational cyclists that aren't being catered to for any TV show at the moment. There's racing shows and plenty of coverage of some really big tours, and they touch on some lifestyle things, but what Lockie's idea was a recreational show that was 100% lifestyle recreation, which hasn't really been done before. So I was like, let's do it.
All right. It seems that it is sort of a niche that, as you said, hasn't really been hit on. So what will an episode of it look like?
Yeah, good question. So we're covering a range of different types of cycling, not just road cycling, which is the biggest group, but it's not the only group. We, realize that, and that there's a whole world of cycling that's really diverse. So we want to cover 4 main types of cycling. We want to do road cycling, so the Lycra guys. We want to do urban cycling, which is massive down in Melbourne at the moment, riding to work on the old 70s 1-speed bike. They're rocking those down there a lot. And mountain biking and trail bike riding, which is more of a family type style of riding. So that's what we want to cover. But in an individual episode, we're looking at a travel segment. So we'll be going to somewhere where cyclists want to go, and we'll be showing them, the best place to have coffee that's going to be friendly to you and your bike. That's not going to, kick up a fuss and look down at you in your Lycra, which some places might do. But we'll show you the best spots to go for coffee. We'll show you the best tracks, what the cycling options are in that city, and have a bit of fun there with our presenters, which I'll get onto in a second about our presenters. They're very cool. And we'll also have a tech segment, which comprises of like new gear and what's on the market for cyclists, what new kit they can get their hands on, how much it costs, what the benefits, pros and cons, all that good stuff, as well as a innovation sort of segment or a quirky segment that shows something different in the world of cycling that most people haven't seen before, which is going to be a really fun segment. It's we're looking at the moment, we're looking at getting an acquaintance of mine on the Pilot, which he does. I always forget what it's called. It's trail riding. That's right, and it's real weird, but it's really cool. It's the one where they're on this sort of mountain bike looking bike, but they jump on rocks and do crazy things.
That sounds nuts.
Yeah, it is. They just jump like a meter and a half in the air just from still. It's amazing. But we'll be talking to him. We'll be seeing what he does and sort of widening the eyes of viewers with what's possible on a bike. So that's pretty much basically a rundown of an episode. There'll be a few little other extra bits in there as well, but it's a half-hour slot, so we've got 18 minutes of actual show to put on, and then ad breaks brings it to half an hour.
And you said you were going to get to the hosts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The presenters are really cool. We went down to Melbourne and ran some auditions. We've got Candy Hertz, who is going to be covering our lifestyle sections of the show. Yep. She's an accomplished presenter down in Melbourne. She runs on the List Melbourne. Bit of a plug for her. There you go, Candy. And we've also got Jess Keneally. Jess is a cyclist himself, so he'll be running our gear talk segments, and they'll both be having a lot of fun on the traveling and all that sort of stuff.
I've noticed, we'll talk about the posable in a second, but there's this sort of short video. I noticed that they've got a lot of chemistry on screen.
Yeah, they're cool.
And there's a very sort of, I guess there's a more of a fun tone than I guess you might expect, which is great.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's what we were trying to do was in that video is give people a flavour of the show, not just information about help us make the show. It was giving people a feel for what they'd be watching, and Jess and Candy do a good job of just giving that fun vibe but also having some information and need to know things in there as well.
All right, and they seem pretty passionate about it as well from that short little video anyway.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the posable.
Yeah.
It seems that a lot of people are doing this nowadays. This is actually the third episode where I've interviewed someone who has
really
raised or is in the process of raising funds through posable.
Yeah. We chose crowdfunding and specifically posable.com for our crowdfunding platform, just because it's got a really fun vibe. It's got a really good community backing it. But we also know a few other people that have been successful with their crowdfunding campaigns. It's perfect for this type of show because we're doing two things at once. We're building an audience for the show when it's released, as well as giving people the opportunity to be involved with the show by contributing and getting some rewards from the Possible campaign listing. It also builds awareness about the show, and it sort of builds that community around the show that that people can go, oh, I've actually made this happen. I'm going to watch it, because that's one of the most important things in making any show is knowing who your audience is and actually having an audience. Because if you don't have an audience, then you don't have a show.
Yeah, well, it kind of builds community, doesn't it? Yeah. Some might say, not myself, but that sort of like these things are a bit of like a money grab, but it's really about building that community.
Yeah, that's right.
And also funding the project that you want to do.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, we had other options to do, seek funding from sort of community grants, government, and independent organisations, which is what we're going to do after we've got the pilot down pat. But we wanted to crowdfund the pilot itself to do exactly what you said, is to build the community and the excitement for the show, and to get the awareness of it out there, and a bit of hype.
Where are you hoping, I guess is the word, hoping to broadcast the show?
We are looking at, I'd love to see it on free-to-air. There's a few stations that we think are ready to jump on an idea like this. There's a few production houses sort of testing the waters with making a show like we're doing, and I think that it's on their horizons, because it's not a secret that there are a lot of cyclists out there, and it's not a secret that it's a growing craze. So I like to see it on 7mate or 7.2 or, one of the free-to-air stations, but we're also looking at pay TV, so Foxtel and Aurora and the Lifestyle Channel. So we'll be contacting them when we've got the pilot and seeing their interest in putting the show on their station. Yeah.
What are your long-term goals? This probably touches on the earlier questions.
We've got some. I'll just run through the plan for what we're going to do once we've got the pilot. Obviously, once we reach our goal on Possible, which is 10,000, we just clocked over 30% the other day, which is really cool, but it's continually growing. Once we get that goal, we are going to film the pilot in January 2016. And once we've got the pilot, we're going to take that to some major sponsors. We'll be seeking major sponsorship from organisations and possibly tourism from specific cities as well to fund the whole series. From there, we will take the series to the networks and see who jumps on board with it and puts it on the telly. In terms of long-term goals, I would love to see Over the Handlebars film overseas. There's a lot of really cool things happening internationally with cycling, and we want this to be a national show. I suppose another dream is for the show to be not just on a local station, but to be a national show. We want to showcase what's happening in different cities in terms of cycling, but then we also want to go broader than just the Australian borders and see what other countries are doing and bring that home. So we want to show councils, organisations, people that are involved with cycling infrastructure, what's happening out in the world and what the possibilities are and what the benefits, how that's benefiting that country, that culture, that city. I heard a really cool story of some local Bendigonians actually wanting to set up some mountain biking infrastructure in East Timor and take trips over there. That's the sort of thing, the stories that we want to tell, which, that we would go over there, have a lot of fun filming, but we'd bring back the segment, the travel segment in the show that gives the viewer that feel like they were there and like it's what they can do if they go overseas on a bike.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Something we were having a bit of a chat before we started recording, and something that you mentioned is that you're not actually a cyclist yourself, are you?
No, I'm not.
How's it been sort of learning about the world throughout the production, throughout the sort of the pre-production stages?
Yeah, it's been fun. My passion is making creative entertainment and grabbing the hearts of audiences instead of just entertaining their eyes. I want to reach through the screen and grab their hearts and go, oh yeah. I am not a cyclist, but it's been really fun having a bit of a window into the culture and community, the cycling community. It fascinates me in some aspects of cycling and the cycling community. You can have on a Saturday morning, you can have a group of cyclists that ride together every Saturday morning, or even every Monday morning, or whenever they ride. They have a coffee after their ride, and they're all sitting together having a jolly old time. And one of them's a doctor, and one of them mows lawns for a living, and they're best buddies. And that might not have happened if they didn't have a community in which they both belonged and they had that opportunity to converse. People from two different circles of life that you wouldn't expect to interact.
and they're just sort of bonding over this shared passion, this shared hobby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's really been really interesting, just sort of having that insight into what the cycling community is all about. And it's about health and fitness, but it's about a really strong community. There's so many different groups, even mountain biking groups that are like family. We sort of want to go into that environment, that community, and show people what it's really about. It's not just about, although there are some amazing health and fitness, advantages that come along with cycling, but it's really a community, and we want to see into that and show people what it's like.
Would you say that you're sort of making the show not just for the cyclists themselves, but for people who might be interested in it, or people who might know nothing about that?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of our key goals, is to get people on bikes. We want to aid the growth of the cycling community. It's just such a great thing to do in terms of building a healthy community, a wider community. Cycling is just a great way to do that, to get people involved the worst thing you can do as a human is be isolated and have no human contact. The cycling sense of community is fantastic. We want to get people on bikes. Yeah.
Can you see yourself taking it up?
Yeah, I used to. I used to ride to school. Dad had forced me to ride to school on my mountain bike. But I used to love doing some mountain biking a while ago. Who knows? I'm going to say, who knows, Lewis? Who knows? I might become an avid cyclist. I might. I just might.
Over the Handlebars, it's currently raising funds on Posable. How do people contribute? If people want to get involved in the conversation, if they just want to get involved?
Yeah,
how do they do that?
Good question. So we have a thriving Facebook page that we like directing people to. You can search Over the Handlebars on Facebook, and that'll come up for you. Just click like on that page, and we post about things that are going to be on the show to give people a feel of what the show is going to be like, what the content's going to be there. We tell people stories, we show crazy videos, that sort of fun stuff. If you want to help make this show, you can jump on possible.com. Our link, if you've got a pen and a paper ready, is posi, which is spelled POZI.be/over the handlebars. And that'll take you straight to our possible.com listing. And there's a whole list of rewards on the side of the page there. You can pledge anything from $5 to $500 and everything in between. And you get a whole range of different rewards for pledging as well.
If you scroll down a little bit, you'll find those links in case you didn't get paper and pen in time. Thank you, Caleb, for coming in and having a chat.
No worries, Lewis. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure having a local chat with you.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing the show.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, mate.
This has been another edition of Local Chats. You can find us on www.thenewlocal.net, Twitter @thenewlocal, and just click on that link to our Patreon if you want to help us out. All right, see you later, guys.